I mean, but back to your question about BTB Savage, man, listen, we got the phone call first that he had passed away, before the world knew about it.
Yeah, condolences to his mom,
Yeah, it was so sad when I got that phone call because we had done the interview maybe 2 weeks before, but it took us maybe about a week or so.
That's why I pray to God every day that I beat the odds. G-Unit was one of the rap groups that had beef with so many names that, were reputable guys in the streets. Yeah. So I always pray every day when I see these artists just get killed like that. But we in different times now.
Well, and 50 obviously ran his mouth about people who he's beefing with and stuff like that, as did everyone else.
But that's him being in number one position. That's going to be, that's going to be when you on top, people's going to come at you. Mm-hmm. That's just the game. Yeah, but when I got that phone call from someone that was in the area that said, "Hey, this news report, this is actually BTB Savage," it was like, damn, like 4 days before we had done the interview, but 2 hours before he got killed, he had posted a picture of himself in a pool of blood. No, I seen that online. That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. Yeah, that was nuts. There was a story circulating saying that he didn't want to talk about it, and I cut that part out of the interview. That's false. Right. That's 100% false. Yeah. And if that's true, that they should release that footage because that's just not true. We would never do that. Like what you saw in that interview was start to finish his stream of thought. Right. Nothing was even cut during the course of that interview. And I mean, it's just horrible. It's a horrible situation. I'm sad about it, but ultimately this is part of what we do is we get these types of stories and we deal with very controversial topics. And sometimes when you deal with controversial topics, you get controversial effects that happen afterwards. And this is just part of the job that we do. I mean, listen, I have an interview that hasn't dropped yet that's about to drop with Hurricane Chris. He just beat a second-degree murder of a guy that he killed in self-defense. Oh, yeah, I just seen you beat that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we will continue to do these types of interviews, and it is going to be very sad if something happens to people in these situations. But this is ultimately the type of stories that we cover. Listen, we've interviewed Sammy the Bull, who killed like 13 people. That is true. You see what I'm saying? With all these mafia guys that were essentially mass murderers. Like, it's not just focused on hip hop or rappers. Like, it goes all across the board. And like I said, I was the victim of a home invasion myself that I survived that got very, very bloody, during that whole situation. So I'm very much for people protecting themselves completely if someone enters their home. No, I understand. Listen, I'm not mad at you, Vlad. I'm just telling you, I was watching online, a couple of people mad at you. And I see you got new security, got the suit on. People are going to be mad. I remember when I interviewed No Plug, over the situation. With the Bankroll Fresh situation. People was mad. With the Bankroll Fresh situation, absolutely. Right. And ultimately, I mean, I remember Charlemagne was mad at me, and me and him had a falling out over that until later when the footage was released that actually showed that Bankroll Fresh pulled out the gun and shot first. And they fired in response. Yeah, I see. And that's what happened. And then, like, when me and Charlemagne talked to him, he was like, yeah, my bad about that. I mean, it's the streets. It's just, the streets is the streets. But the internet is the fuel to the fire now. Yeah. And everybody knows that. That's just what it is now. Because before, if two guys had a beef in the streets, we might not see each other. You might have just heard a motherfucker, he said this or said that. Now, a motherfucker's going online, fuck your moms, your girl, fuck your kids, and so the internet is the fuel to the fire of any drama, any beef. Right. And let me just point out is that unfortunately, the young men and women today, they escalate it further than you've ever seen it before. When you and I were young, right? No, but you got to remember this. Let me just finish my thought. When you were beefing with someone, think about all the beefs that you had back in the day. Mm-hmm. Did you ever go and say, I'm going to smoke your dead homie? You know what I mean? I'm going to make a song about your friend being dead and me putting that person in a blunt? Like, you've never heard that back in the day. Now, with Chief Keef and all of them, they started all that and that became popular. It spread to like Jacksonville and everything else like that. Mm-hmm. I have never seen someone post a picture of one of their enemies' blood on the floor with them like showing off their watch and everything else like that. BTB Savage took it to a level that I hadn't seen before. Yeah, that's what I say. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's the internet. Yeah. It's the fuel to the fire. Yeah. And not saying the internet is a bad thing, because the internet, you got people like Jake Paul, his brother Logan Paul, that are making millions of dollars and as big as Floyd Mayweather and these other, other boxers off the internet and YouTube. You got all these TikTok influencers getting paid. You got Joe Buttons, you got Drink Champs, you got all these Gillian Wallow, you got all these people making millions of dollars and all y'all people motivate us. I watch all the greats. Y'all are the greats now. You talked about the list. Joe Budden's on number 1. Who was number 2?
Academics.
Academics number 2. Shout out to Academics. Who was number 3?
Charlemagne, I think.
Charlemagne, of course. 4 was what? Get the list.
Let's look at complex.
This is the lane I want to get into, and I respect everybody. Like I'm learning from watching all the greats do this podcast
here. Hold on. All right, and the list was based on individuals, not entities. So, for example, Nori was on the list, but Drink Champs is not, meaning that they're focusing on the individuals. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So Joe Budden was 1, Academics was 2, Charlemagne was 3.
Shout out to everybody.
Gillian Wallow are 4. Nori's 5. Kai Sanat.
Oh yeah, definitely. He got
I apologize
Twitch.
for mispronouncing his name. Is it Sanat?
I think it's Sanat Kanat.
Sanat.
Yeah.
Kai Sanat.
But I know
6.
he got Twitch on lock. Yeah.
Carisha is 7.
Yep, definitely. City boy.
Elliot Wilson is 8. I'm 9. Math Hoffa's 10.
Oh shit, definitely. Shout to Math Hoffa too. I gotta shout Math Hoffa out. I ain't gonna lie. Me and his interview did do some numbers, man. I shout out to Math Hoffa. I'm glad he's number 10.
That's my man. Math Hoffa was my friend way before he started.
Right. No, I know that.
Yeah. I've always told him that he could be bigger than what he's doing right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm glad that he's actually.
He came a long way, man, because his show
up.
is great. Everybody that's on that list, definitely, I look up to, in the podcast, YouTube business, old and new. Y'all put in work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It is what it is. Shout out to you.